Good afternoon. I wish you all a pleasant conference and fruitful discussions. I am Ibrahim Kushchu. Today I will talk to you the changes in artificial intelligence and how these changes influence the education field and how we can empower the educators despite these fast and drastic changes in artificial intelligence. Before going to my presentations, I would like to thank UNESCO IITE and also Ministry of Education in Turkmenistan to give me this opportunity to speak at this important conference. I prepared a few slides for you. Let me share them with you. As I said, the topic of this conference is how to change with the changes in artificial intelligence and how to improve our field of education, but most importantly, how to empower the educators using artificial intelligence tools and techniques. Now, when we give training at the Next Minds to domain experts, they often come and report to us at least 4 challenges that they face. One of them is insufficient knowledge of AI expertise. They lack the knowledge of unique contributions of artificial intelligence, and they cannot cope with unknowables of AI, which turns and come back as changing the domain of their expertise. And the fourth one is what I call predictive paradox. Basically, they are trying to predict the AI's influence with the today's set mind, but the changes on AI and also changes in their field does not allow us. They cannot predict the AI influence in the future with today's fixed minds. So in this talk, I will briefly go over with all of these and come up with some recommendations how to empower the educators. Now, one of the most significant reasons why domain experts, educators do not have the AI expertise is turbulent and fast changes in AI field. I am an expert who's been studying artificial intelligence since early 80s, and I did a number of projects, large-scale projects in AI field. And the changes in AI has been very dramatic since the year 2000s. But this dramatic change has been in every few years. But nowadays, the changes are being from month to month, maybe week to week. And as AI experts, it is very difficult for us to keep up with these changes. And so it is no wonder it's a difficult challenge for the domain experts, for the AI, for the educators to keep up with these changes. And the other challenge is that domain experts, the educators, do not have the real contribution of artificial intelligence into their field. That knowledge is a refined knowledge. It could only happen probably by working with a real AI expert. If you don't have the knowledge of real contribution of artificial intelligence, most of the educators would feel that AI is just another digital transformation tool for their domain, which is completely false. The other challenge is the unknowables of artificial intelligence, which doesn't only come from the field of artificial intelligence, but also with an orchestrated development that happens within other advanced technologies, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, telecom communications, intelligent internet of everything, even from the biology, as we will see. Now, these orchestrated changes influence not only the tools and techniques that we can borrow from artificial intelligence, but also it influences the field that we are working on, basically the education field. Let me give you one example. In year 2017, at the University of Washington, there was an experiment where they had 3 human subjects. These human subjects did not see each other. They didn't talk to each other. They were only connected with their brain signals. So 2 of the human subjects could send brain signals to the third human subject so that they can teach the third human subject how to play a video experiment, a video game. In this experiment, they were able to send and receive signals from one brain to another. What does this mean? In the future, through the use of intelligent Internet of Everything, there will probably an agent for all objects, all planets, all animals, and all humans in our environment. And this will influence directly how the learning environments will form and what will be the platforms for learning and the nature of learning and the nature of the subject to be taught. So I devised this sentence very carefully to define a future's learning situation. Please read this very carefully. Personalized on-demand content driven actively via brain signals of the learners need to be delivered to the virtual platform that they prefer. I read this again. Personalized on-demand content driven interactively via brain signals of the learners to be delivered to the virtual platform that they prefer. Can you imagine such learning environment and how this will have an impact on the education field? And are we ready for this? Let's look at the details. Most of the educators feel that they live in this predictive paradox. Basically, they have a good knowledge of present implementations of artificial intelligence in education. They are good experts in their field, but they have a limited understanding of how AI will influence their activities, their professional activities in a short term. This creates a perceived influence, which is completely different than likely reality that the AI will actually influence education field in the near future. I'm not talking about a distant future where, for example, there will be a decentralized education and we will see collective AI and collective learning environments. So this pathway has a kind of a cloud that needs to be cleared out. So we have to move the educators from the understanding of the present AI implementations in education to the likely reality that AI will have an influence on education so that they can move from this early recognition of the AI tools and techniques and also how this influences their education to the likely situation that will happen in a short-term period. How this could happen? Basically, if we examine these educators, we will see that they have a certain competency level that needs to be improved. The present understanding of AI and education keeps the educators in the comfort zone. They have a fair understanding of the tools and techniques, and they can adopt and use it in their teaching assignments, teaching situations, and they improve the learning environment. But this is not enough. We have to improve their competency level from comfort zone to the opportunity zone, and from there to disruption zone, where creativity and collaboration in the learning environments can happen. And how do we do that? We do this through clearing the path that we've been just talking about. From present AI influence in education, for the educator to understand that there is a likely reality. So therefore, they have to move to the frontiers of the changes in artificial intelligence, and also how this change will influence the way they perform teaching and also create a learning environment. So the strategy is very, very simple, really, but very difficult to do in nature. We have to move the educators from the comfort zone to the disruptive zone, where their role has become to understand the frontiers of technology and how this technology impacts the changes in their domain, in their education domain, so that they can also create new processes in the domain of their expertise, basically in education. Just to give you an example, this example kind of clearly clarifies the situation where the the educators in the comfort zone might be using some simple AI tools like blackboards and look at the eye tracking and some of the analytics and reflect this in adjusting the learning in the real time. And we have to move this to an upper level where teachers say they use some advanced techniques like real cognitive monitoring and try to use this as a support in the learning flow. The role of the teachers, the educators are minimized, a little bit minimized in this at this stage. But if you go to the next stage, you will see that the advanced technologies such as brain-to-brain communication and the automation has taken over the role of the teachers, and the learning content is totally different, something that we can probably not imagine at the moment. And the role of the teacher has become guiding the ethical use of these advanced technologies and how they can foster creativity, empathy, and collaboration. So this creates really a big disruption in the education field. So what does this mean? We all as educators have to move from being a passive user of technology, but we have to um, create a situation, create an environment where we work with the frontiers of the AI and the relevant technologies to be a proactive professional. What does it implies for us? It will probably will force us to reinvent our domain, its aim and its definition, completely its raison d'être. This is my presentation. I hope that this will be a useful contribution to this important conference. Thank you very much for making time and listening to this presentation. Have a great day. Goodbye.